not going to lie, as the youngsters say, or my daughter says, NGL. To be fair, she has been prone to telling a fib, a porky pie or two. But anyway, not going to lie. I got the inspiration for today's video from scrolling through Twitter from West Ham Central. I scrolled down and there was a list of 6 strikers linked with West Ham. Now, to be fair to Central, he has got these from Team Talk, right? But I thought it's worth discussing because I think it's a good list. But it's an unbalanced list. And to be honest with you, there's only really 2 on this list that I think are realistic. And they're not the 2 that I really want. There are 2 that I really, really want. Now, listen, let me go through the names. Roberto Piccoli, Mateo Pellegrino, we have discussed him before on this channel. Karim Adeyemi, Esposito, Toney, as Ivan Toney to you, and Joshua Zirkzee. Now, there's something quite interesting about this list of players here, which is they're all sort of big old chunky lumps, to a lesser extent Toney, and certainly, well, I was going to say aside from one, which is Karim Adeyemi. Now, this is really important because I spoke about Ivan Toney the other day. By the way, let me make this point. I got accused of inventing the Ivan Toney rumour only so I could do a video about it saying we were going to sign him, only to then do another video saying we weren't going to sign him. It's nonsense. Firstly, the rumour was out on Monday. I was off grid. I was gone. I was feeding apples to cattle. I wasn't even here, right? So I didn't even start the bloody rumour. Secondly, I didn't say we were going to sign him. I said I thought he would be the perfect striker for West Ham. So that's what I said. And I certainly didn't then do a video saying we're not going to sign him. Anyway, there you go. I mean that. I thought he was the perfect striker for West Ham. But then, obviously, the story does get debunked, which is, and it gets replaced by another story, which is West Ham are looking for somebody that can play across the front line, somebody that's more mobile, somebody fast, a pacey striker. So West Ham are looking for a striker, but they're looking for a pacey striker, which pretty much rules out most of these guys here, right? Because Esposito, Pellegrino, Piccoli, and Zirkzee, they're all giants, really. They're all big, big boys, really big boys. So apparently we're not looking for a target man. Now, I assumed we were. I thought we were looking for a target man just because I guess I sort of was a lazy assumption, really. We were, you know, we've got Nuno Espírito Santo in now. He is obviously come from Nottingham Forest. Relied heavily on Chris Wood, who did really, really well. And Chris Wood is a number 9. He is a target man. He's a big lump, right? So I thought, well, he's going to do that at West Ham. My mistake. Anyway, as it's been pointed out to me, he could do that in Nottingham Forest because he had blistering pace either side of him and pace and behind in attacking midfield. Doesn't got that at West Ham. So actually, West Ham are going to be looking for a fast striker that can run the channels, right? Okay, fine. So we've had to switch up. I got to looking at some of them. Well, first of all, Esposito, he looks to be the real deal. Absolutely brilliant striker. I think he's 20 years of age. Inter Milan striker. I think he's already been capped by Italy. Really, really, really good. In terms of, and I think Inter Milan have already turned down a €50 million bid for him, apparently. So West Ham are just not going to go and get this guy. Nobody's leaving Inter Milan and going to go and sign for West Ham, right? That's just not going to happen. Piccoli, again, I think this will be really, really difficult. Again, well, firstly, not just because he doesn't match this new information that we have, that West Ham are going to be looking for a sort of fast striker who can dart around and do all the stuff. Not just because of that. But again, I just think he'd be a hard player to buy and he's going to be expensive. I don't know how much money we got to spend in January, right? I don't know. I would hope, as I've mentioned before in another video, I hope they're going to use some of that credit facility. Actually, no, to be fair, rather than, I'm just a realist, I would hope that the West Ham ownership would put in their own money. They ain't going to. I've got no faith in them doing so. So there you go. So if they're not going to do that, then go and use some of the credit facility that you've taken out, right? Because West Ham have got to stay in the Premier League. I'm not going to go off on that tangent again. right? But anyway, there you go. But I just don't think Piccoli just doesn't seem realistic. Pellegrino, we've discussed him before. I did the amateur scouting on Patreon, and yeah, I think that's the most likely in terms of us being able to get hold of him. That being said, again, he's probably out of this lot the most like Chris Wood, actually. So we're not going to get him. He's certainly not mobile. So I guess we got to forget that. It's Karim Adeyemi. Now, he's the one that really, really caught my eye because he is the one that's different. And if there's anyone that can play across the front line, it's him. I've spoken about him numerous times over the last 3 or 4 years. He's absolutely electric. I think he's a brilliant player. I think West Ham have been so slow for so long that any time I see someone that's absolutely rapid, I often look and think, let's get him. I'd love to get him. We didn't get him. That's not the bloke we got from Borussia Dortmund. It was Nicholas Füllkrug instead, which has not worked out too well. And he's injured again now, which is obviously going to give Nuno a little bit of an interesting situation ahead of Saturday's game. That's tomorrow. It's Monday night's game at the London Stadium. Oh, by the way, so obviously Monday night's game, protest before the game, and then there's a lot of fans boycotting the game as a protest against the boards. Karen Brady, David Sullivan, get them out, get them to Scarpa. So there's a lot of people who are travelling to the ground, but out of protest, making a stand. They're not going to go into the ground. If you are going to be doing that and you're in and around Stratford, this is literally just a favour for a friend here. I've got a West Ham fan, a mate of mine who is now running the Bat and Ball, which is in Westfield. He's a West Ham fan. Well, you'll see, 'cause he's got a West Ham shirt. If you're on there, or in and around the door, he'll have a West Ham shirt on. They're playing the game. The game is on in the Bat and Ball. Really lovely grub in there, and good booze. I mean, really, really lovely grub. The West Ham game will be on the telly. So if you want to go and if you're going to do the protest and then you think, damn, I'm not going to make it home for the game. If you do the protest, then yeah, the game will be on there, Bat and the Ball in Westfield. I know Danny and Toney would really appreciate it if you went down there and checked it out. Adeyemi, I like him. I like this player. I really like this player. The trouble is, he's playing for Dortmund at the moment, isn't he? And I think he started off the season. He's got a couple of goals. He's got an assist. It's just tough, right? We're never going to get this player. And I do wonder where some of these links have come from. I'm not blaming Central for this. It's come from a website called Team Talk, who have listed these six strikers West Ham are interested in. And I do believe if we get one of them, it's going to be none of these guys. And you probably think, well, why are you talking about it then? Well, I'll be honest, not going to lie. NGL, I'm scratching around. I'm scratching around for something to talk about. But this did perk me interest. It definitely did. Particularly Adeyemi. I'd love someone like this. I'd love someone like this at West Ham. I'd love to think we would have a really mobile front line. That would be great, and blistering pace. Ivan Toney, we're not getting him apparently. I stick with everything I said the other day. I think he is. I just think he's guaranteed goals. But because of the money, we can't get anywhere near it. There are some tax implications as well. Not just that. As Obi-Wan Kenobi once said, he's not the striker you're looking for. He's not. We're not after him, apparently. More's the shame. Joshua Zirkzee, I'm pretty sure he is the most gettable of all of them. He's also scored the least goals of all of them. And I guess I don't go with the old adage, you don't get anybody decent in January. That's not true. We got Jared Bowen in January. We got Jesse Lingard in January. And we got Thomas Souček in January as well. So it's not the case. We've also got Evan Ferguson, which obviously disproves the claim. But my point is there are players there that are available. I hope we're looking at it now. I hope we're working on it now. I hope we're well into the process, because the first part of this international break that we've had, he really didn't have many of the players there. I know he's done his press conference today, Nuno. I need to go and give it. I've read the transcript and I didn't think there was nothing there that really jumped out at me. Nothing to do. I waited until I'd watched that to do this video, which is why I'm discussing the 6 strikers West Ham won't sign rather than Nuno's press conferences. It's not just him. None of them say anything these days really in press conferences. And I don't blame him, quite frankly. I don't blame him. But the first part of the international break, he was sorting out his new coaches who were sort of there anyway because they were academy coaches. Most of the players were off. Even players like Callum Marshall was off with Northern Ireland. Fernandes was off with Portugal under 21s. I think out of his defence, the only one that was there was Max Kilman. So, I mean, you can't work on a defence with only one defender there. In fact, we started the season playing like we only had one defender, didn't we? So I wouldn't be surprised if that first part of the international break, he was in a situation where he was probably starting to look, probably learning, possibly asking his mate, George Mendes, who we got, what strikers can you get me? Hopefully talking with the club and try and discuss who we might go and get. Anyway, there you go. There's 6 strikers I don't particularly think West Ham will get. And if we did, the last one I would look to get is Joshua Zirkzee. But I've got to say, the way things are going, looking at Fulkrug at the moment, I mean, that looks pretty bad, doesn't it? Not just Fulkrug, the fact that, you've got Fulkrug there and the backup is Callum Wilson. There's so much. I really wanted Callum Marshall to break through, and I hope he does, but there's almost too much riding on him now. There's almost too much depending on that he might work out. I really hope he does. It's such an opportunity for him. I hope he plays him. I'm sure he'll get game time. Will he get starts? I don't know. And I hope he grabs the opportunity, because West Ham, chances like this and opportunities like this can really springboard your career. And I wouldn't be surprised, actually. I'm not going to pretend to know the composition of the whole Northern Ireland team. I'm not going to pretend to know that. But if Marshall's getting regular game time in the Premier League, he's got every chance to start in Northern Ireland's November International. So it'd be really good for him. If he can get a couple of Premier League goals, then you suddenly got a player on your hand and things start to look very, very different. Don't get me wrong, still got to go and get a striker. That doesn't mean we don't get a striker. It means actually we don't have to worry about Callum Wilson. We don't have to rely on Nicholas Fulkrug anymore. We had another striker, a new striker we go and buy, and we have Callum Marshall as well. It's Callum Marshall that stays. It's someone else that leaves. Anyway, there you go. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I do understand they are an unrealistic list. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll catch up with you tomorrow.